Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Allincrypto here, and today we are going to be covering the internet computer ICP. And we did make a video a few days ago pre that 27% move. Since then, we've seen a lot of volatility in the market. We are going to be looking at where ICP is today. As you can imagine, a lot of people have asked me, and I just want to start with saying that our macro outlook, i.e. our bigger time frame outlook for the internet computer, going towards that $24 mark first, and then potentially setting up towards $200, depending on what happens from now until then and what sets up when we get to that $24 mark is still very much intact. We are going to be starting things off on the smaller timeframes, then we'll be looking at the bigger timeframes. We'll be addressing, of course, what happened with the internet computer when we were looking at this kind of bull pennant. It literally broke perfectly after that video and went on a 27% run, really outperformed the market, but got hit very hard with the volatility that Bitcoin saw yesterday. Where does this leave the internet computer? Of course, the good news is we do still believe it is heading towards $24, but they will try and shake you out before it gets there. Something very strange going on with the internet computer at the moment, because it doesn't seem to be moving with the rest of the market. Now, there could be a number of reasons for this. The kind of pop that we saw that was like a 26% pop, I think I was something like, I woke up in the morning something like 5 or 6K up on a trade. Obviously, investment position, very different. I don't believe people should be trading the market, certainly with leverage. Started the day off something like 6K up. Become a Patreon, you'll unlock all my receipts. We can not only talk the talk, but we can walk the walk on this channel. I ended up closing the day with all the volatility, something like 2.4K up for the day on ICP, and I am still expecting it to move upwards, but we'll be taking a look at all that. We'll be looking at some sort of schematics or taking a number of different perspectives in regards to ICP on the bigger time frame. Remember, we'll be re-going over our plan. And then I kind of want to finish things off on the internet computer. So we have a technical roadmap for potentially $200. It's got to follow that roadmap to get there, or in a roundabout way. Okay. I have had a lot of comments saying, well, if the internet computer gets to $200, that's going to put its market cap at an insane valuation. And people using this as an excuse to dictate that ICP can't get to these kind of prices. Well, I'm going to be showing you, based on the historical snapshots from 2021, that actually it's entirely possible that an altcoin like ICP can get to the $90 billion market cap range, putting its price, I think it's about $94 billion, putting its price at around about $200. That would essentially, as it has been done before by the likes of Cardano and many others, BNB got to the hundreds of billions of dollars in the last cycle. You've got to bear in mind as well that this cycle, in terms of the overall money in the crypto space, I think we got to 3 trillion last time. I think by the time this bull market's finished, it's going to be in the tens of trillions. And that's because we are having the institutional barriers broken down to the crypto space with the likes of ETFs. You are going to get an Ethereum ETF, in my opinion, and then you're going to get altcoin ETFs. In fact, there's already a lot of altcoin exchange traded products out there that are actually offered by the same people that are offering the Bitcoin spot ETFs. So I think it's entirely plausible that ICP can get to $200 and have a $90 billion market cap. We'll be showing you that towards the end of the video. But let's dive into things and let's recap on the video that we made the other day, where we were essentially looking at this. So we'll start off on the small time frames and then we'll go to the bigger time frames. We've given price predictions for a number of altcoins. We're going to see them all through, guys. I'm going to take you on that journey with me. I am a traditional technical analyzer and I believe it works. In fact, I have an entire group of people that will vouch for that. You can join that group, link in the description. It's not for everyone. If you do want to take this seriously and learn technical analysis, do hop on board. But you can see we're essentially looking at a bit of a bull pennant here after having broken out of our stage 1 base into a stage 2. We like to break the market down into 4 stages. And let's go over to the ICP chart and you can see how that played out. So very quickly, this is the roadmap that we're looking for. It's very similar to Injective. It's very similar to the likes of Chainlink. You know, we've had huge success with this kind of, or identifying these kind of patterns. Markets will typically move in a similar fashion. You know, markets typically bottom on something like a double bottom or an inverse head and shoulders, and they typically create structure on a way up or down that will allow you to predict targets, which is what we're expecting for the internet computer. So this is what we're looking at. Double bottom, bullish divergence present. We've done the whole shebang. This is also a stage 1 base. You broke out of this stage 1 base into a stage 2, which is an uptrend on volume. And since then, you've been consolidating, which is extremely common. You can see we're essentially here in regards to injective protocol, or potentially here in terms of Bitcoin. But I don't think it's going to take this long to resolve itself, certainly where the market currently is. You can also see, actually, I wanted to show you guys this. If we take the draw off and you look at this sort of stage 1 base here after a break, you can see the total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, did a similar thing before it went higher. So this is an uptrend, perfect example of stage 2s that we've just shown you there. But on the smaller time frames, we were looking at what we were identifying as a bullish pennant. Okay, and we were saying this is very likely to break to the upside. You're grinding along here, and we saw a massive influx of volume, something like 20 or 32% in less than a day we saw from this low here. I think we made the video around about here. You know, it was a great trade. Like I say, I woke up something like 5 or 6K up, only for me to then have to literally take half of that in regards to profits. But that's the game of trading. We don't believe that retail really should be messing around with trading. They should make their money in understanding the direction the market's going in, being on the side of the trend, and ultimately benefiting as a result of it. But since then, it did this. It gave it all back and then some. Slightly elevated today. And this was largely on the back end of Bitcoin approaching new all-time highs, putting a toe above new all-time highs, and then doing this. Remember, Bitcoin is still that tide that rises and sinks all ships. So ICP was never going to escape that. Neither was a lot of the other market. But the important thing is to realize this was just a small structure that I was looking to trade. The move and the volatility that we had doesn't change our macro view. You are heading, in my opinion, to this double bottom target of around about $24. If you get to there, which I do believe you will, I think you're going to set up in a similar fashion to what markets typically do, something like what Injective did. You're essentially just here for ICP. And I think they are trying, whoever they are, to shake retail out in order to send it there. I think it's going to be, you'll be, in my opinion, at $24. And remember, none of this is financial advice. It's all just my opinion. Likely before the second half of the year. And then we'll see where things are. I think actually within that. And once you've got here, I do think you're going to pull back. I think you're hopefully going to pull back, because that's going to allow us to predict a target of around about $200. And talking about the $200 target, I just want to kind of talk about that, because a lot of people said if you go over to CoinMarketCap and you look at the supply, which of course I have done, and you look at the circulating supply currently, it's 459, we'll say 460 million to round it up, okay? And if ICP was $200 a coin, that would put its market cap at $91 billion, which seems absurd to most. Remember, market cap is a derivative of price, okay? So if I create a Allincrypto token, which we might be doing, we're not doing that, and I sell, I have all the supply, and I sell you one coin for, $1,000, and you sell it to someone else for 2,000, the entire supply that's out there, the market cap will be derived from the last sale, basically. This is how market cap's derived. So market cap isn't a great metric, but regardless of that, it's entirely possible that we see, just like we saw in the last bull market top, and this one is going to be even greater, ladies and gentlemen, the likes of Cardano. I mean, Ethereum got to nearly $500 billion, by the way. I think you're going to see some altcoins get towards that. But what I'm showing you is the likes of Cardano that didn't even have a smart contract live on it. The Alonso hard fork didn't come till slightly after this. We're a big fan of ADA as well. We really like their staking consensus. But this got to $93 billion. You're telling me in a market cap that's going to be even larger, ICP can't get to 91? And we have a technical roadmap to back that up. Again, we just talk the talk on this channel. We walk the walk. And that's why we're going to keep people up to date on this. It's entirely possible, and in actual fact, I think plausible. But that is not financial advice. That's just my own opinion. You guys do with that whatever you will. Don't get shaken out. We've set the broader plan at play. Stick to that as an investor. Understand the direction and the trend that you are now on. And it's an uptrend. It's a stage 2 after a stage 1 base. Be on the right side of it and make your money in sitting in an investment and let the legwork be done by the trend, by the market. We know we're in a bull market. It's likely going to continue. Is ICP not going to appreciate from that? It's very unlikely that it won't. And on top of that, we have technical structure. It's a great fundamental project. I mean, it really is. The Internet Protocol, ICP, it's really trying to essentially bring the internet into Web 3. The internet in Web 2, as it stands, is basically owned by 3 companies. There's a bigger narrative, perhaps, than money itself to decentralize that, given how important the internet is and how much more digital the entire world is going to become. So that is really all I've got for you. To recap, we don't think there's any reason to worry. I think this was just a shakeout. That's my opinion on it. A brutal one, albeit. Bitcoin is still that tide that rises and sinks all ships. This is why we don't advocate for people trading with leverage. Because if you got caught in yesterday's situation, in whenever it was his situation, you don't know what you're doing, you might not only go from 5 or 6K up to 2 something K like I did, and you're leaving a lot of money on the table, you might actually end up negative and actually getting liquidated, which we don't want for anybody, which is why we don't advocate and we don't believe people should trade. We care about you guys. We think you'll make more than enough money because the crypto offers that opportunity in just being an investor. Guys, that is really all I've got for you. If you've enjoyed this content, a like is always greatly appreciated. So is a comment, and I hope to see you all on the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one.